From a rowdy family barbecue emerges a compelling examination of love and loss and pain and joy. The Pulitzer Prize-winning comedic adaptation of Shakespeare's Hamlet, Fat Ham, opens tonight at Kalita Humphreys Theater. And of course, this morning we have director Vicki Washington and actor Tyler Ray Lewis. They're here to tell us all about Dallas Theater Center's production of Fat Ham. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
So glad to have you guys here. Okay, so Vicki, I'm coming to you because Fat Ham, it balances comedy and music and family dysfunction, which I think we can all relate to. And so while still carrying this emotional weight, there's a lot of lessons in this as well. And so how do you guide the audience in a way where you're still telling the story, but also making sure you're hitting all the notes of all of these emotions?
Oh, I love that question. Thanks. Well, one of the things we do is we rely on James Imes, the Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright of this play, Fat Ham. And we just are very true to what he has written because it's so universal and it really speaks to us and to the audience. So that's what we do.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Okay, I'm coming to you kind of with the same question. How do you take on, because I mean, you guys are even talking about generational trauma in this production. And so how do you approach that in your character, Juicy?
Well, Juicy and I, our lives parallel a lot. So I get to bring a lot of myself and my trauma and how I grew up, and things that I experienced as a plus-size queer person in a small town rural place in Texas to the stage and get to honor that as true as I can.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so James, you just talked about the original playwright, James. He uses Shakespeare's structure, but it doesn't have the traditional ending, right? It's a little bit different. And so how does that reshaped ending maybe change the message for a modern audience of today?
Well, one of the things is that we're really looking at, and he's looking at, playwright is looking at, how do we decide the course for our lives? What decisions do we make that'll take us to where we want to go? And so with comedy and with drama and with music, all of these things are here to take us to where we need to go.
Yes, okay, as we all know, food, music, shared space, a cookout. It is the central place where we all come together to get together with family, to feel all of those emotions that maybe sometimes we suppress throughout the year. And so how do these elements that are now in this production heighten the tension, but also the connection between all of the characters on stage?
We'll let you take that one.
Well, I think that we all have an understanding of what's going on and what's happening. And so it helps to drive the story and kind of give undergut to what's happening. But it's like being at a normal family cookout where you kind of sweep things under the rug, but you also kind of touch on it and it's like a bruise and you keep poking it and poking it and poking it.
That's
and finally, and then finally everything just comes to a head. And so the audience gets to experience that along with us in real time.
Oh my goodness, and this is so relatable, so I think people are really gonna enjoy this. I have a question though, because I think when people hear Shakespeare, right, they kind of get nervous or scared, and they might not have ever seen a Shakespeare play before or even dabbled in the writing. And so tell me, if someone's thinking, okay, I kind of like the idea of this, but I haven't necessarily dabbled in the arts to really understand, is this the perfect production?
This is the perfect production.
To start with.
Thank you for that, because one of the things that Imes always reminds us of is it's a reimagining of Hamlet. It's not Hamlet. It's not an adaptation. It's a reimagining. It's a family, a black family in the backyard barbecue, enjoying themselves and fighting through their dysfunction to love each other and to be together in this moment.
Wow, wow. Okay, I have to ask before we go, favorite moments leading up to the production?
Oh, I think a lot of the table work that we did, Vicki was very adamant of being in the text, pulling it apart, examining those bodies, right, that James Imes wrote about and telling those stories and being true to what he wrote. And I think that was my favorite part, which is usually not, I'm like, let's get on our feet. But I think for this production, it was very important to just dive deep and get inside.
Oh, this is going to be a good show indeed. Thank you both for coming on, giving us a little BTS of what you guys have been working on before it hits the stage. And if you're thinking, okay, I need plans, these are the ones for you. Fat Ham, presented by Dallas Theater Center, is on stage at Kalita Humphreys Theater tonight through February 8th. All you have to do is go to dallastheatercenter.org for so much more information and to get your tickets.